it is. Ever do you pimping? Back. There's a lot going on in the world, y'all. It's a lot going on. I'm gonna try to cover it in an hour. You heard me. It ain't cold down there. Shoot down this bitch. Ain't that bad. Shalom, JB. Oh man, we got OTF VONNIE going outside. And, you know, speculation been around Shorty name for a while. And I'll say, you know, he could maybe very well be telling. But I don't think the information that we had at the time was enough to stamp it. But now, niggas got trial dates. Niggas got trial dates and he don't. I don't think it's too much more need to be said. And he ain't the only one. Look like Flocka telling too. Look like VONNIE, Jam, and Flocka is telling. Yeah. It's his uncle, his father/uncle. He probably the one that told him to do it. Punk ass nigga. I can't stand a fucking rat, yo. For real, man. Yo, that bothers me, yo. Like, you commit a crime with somebody and they fucking tell on you, yo, to get a deal. I don't like that shit. See, I've been told on before, y'all. So I probably be biased when what's up, Major Baby? I might be biased when it come down to that shit, but yo, that's like the worst feeling in the world, yo. Worst feeling in the world, yo, when you participate in a crime with somebody and they fucking start copping out and taking plea deals and like, yo, what the fuck, bro? Like, yo, what you doing? You bitch ass. For real, man. I don't like that shit, man. I don't like it. I don't respect it or nothing. We got Iraq just joined the war against the United States. It's a lot going on right now in the world. Yeah, I really would rather talk about politics, but y'all know how YouTube is when it comes down to me and politics. It seems like everybody else got free reigns to talk politics. Yeah, that's yo. It just bothers me, yo. Like when I say that, I say, "Oh damn, yo a bitch," just like his fucking father. You know they say that we don't fall too far from the tree, man. Like that's a real statement. That's why, if a lot of times it ain't 100%, but a lot of times, if a dude father a rat, I would cut the son off straight up. It is what it is. If we out here committing crimes and your father is a rat, we might not. Can't be committing crimes together, yo. Like, for real. Like, I don't know. You know, the chances. Yeah, I see, yo. Down, the chances is too dangerous. I don't know, yo. It might not be part of the agenda, yo, because they do not let me talk politics. They don't. They be cutting my live off and playing with my numbers and I just be giving my take, my opinion on shit. Like, why the fuck is my opinion saying like it's being silenced? That's to make me question everybody else that speak on it. So I think Trump did a press briefing today. Where the fuck is it at? Check it out. Yeah, some people not good, good judges of character, man. You gotta be careful just bringing niggas around. Yo, that's why your friends is your friends, man. I mean, your friends are your friends for a reason. Like, I'm not one of the ones that's really interested in meeting like my homeboys' friends. I mean, like, if we all around the same way or we on the same block, that's different. You know, but when you got a homeboy that's dealing with guys from the other block and that's his man and we not mixing. We ain't doing that. Yeah, man, we ain't mixing like that. Like, yo, that's your friends, yo. Keep your friends your friends. Don't make them mine. You feel me? We ain't gotta be enemies, but we damn sure ain't gonna be friends. A lot of people go down for that. But let's see what the fuck Trump was talking about.
That coming out more and more. But there's no doubt that America's adversaries are trafficking fentanyl into the United States in part because they want to kill Americans.
It ain't no hate. It ain't like I agree, JB. Ain't no hate. It's just they your friends. They your friends for a reason. I don't know them niggas. Don't bring them past my house. Don't we ain't going out together. They your friends, yo. I highlight you on, when we chill.
If this were a war, that would be one of the worst wars. I believe they killed over the last 5 or 6 years per year 200 to 300,000 people. You hear about 100,000, which is a lot of people, but the number's much higher than that. That's been proven. And they've destroyed a lot of families because when they lose a child, or even if their child is heavily addicted, you lose that family. The family will never be the same. That's why today I'm taking one more step to protect Americans from the scourge of deadly fentanyl flooding into our country. With this historic executive order I will sign today, we're formally classifying fentanyl as a weapon of mass destruction, which is what it is. No bomb.
What about they ain't do that to crack cocaine? When that shit was getting flooded in the United States. A weapon of mass destruction? Let me make sure this is the press conference I'm looking for. Make sure this is the right one. It's the right one. All right, it's the right one.
Does what this is doing. 200 to 300,000
hit that like button,
die
y'all,
every year that we know of. So we're formally classifying fentanyl as a weapon of mass destruction. But before I sign the fentanyl order, we will pin these great service members with their medals. And here today are the first 13 warriors.
I want to hear him talk about the war.
They put terrible words. They actually have me speaking with words that I never said, and they got caught because I believe somebody at BBC said, this is so bad, it has to be reported. That's called fake news. So we'll be filing that suit probably this afternoon or tomorrow morning. I want to thank all of you for being here. If you have any questions, I guess you could ask, but this is really a day of celebration for these people. The job they've done is really unprecedented.
Yo, ain't no way I'd be risking my life for this. Like, yo, if I was enlisted in the army, I would go to jail, yo, before I go to motherfucking Iran. For real. Cause yo, this war doesn't serve any interest. Iran can't they can't strike us, man. They don't have the fucking missile capabilities.
So go ahead.
On Brown University, Mr. President, do you know what the motive of the shooter was? Was it a targeted attack?
That's moving along now, and we don't, and we're going to see what happens. Hopefully, they're going to capture this animal. Hopefully, they're going to capture it.
Has Kash Patel told you why it's been so difficult for the FBI to identify who the shooter is?
Well, it's always difficult. So far, we've done a very good job of doing it.
What happened, yo? It was a shooting somewhere? Y'all? I've been at work all day. I ain't know.
With Charlie, with, the various times this has happened, they've done it in pretty much record time. But you'd really have to ask the school a little bit more about that because, this was a school problem. They had their own guards, they had their own police, they had their own everything. But you'd have to ask that question really to the school, not to the FBI. We came in after the fact. And the FBI will do a good job, but they came in after the fact.
Do you know if it was targeted, Mr. President?
No, they don't know that yet, no.
Sir, on the issue of drugs, is it accurate that you are considering an executive order to reclassify marijuana under the control?
We are considering that, yeah.
Are you planning?
Because a lot of people want to see it, the reclassification, because it leads to tremendous amounts of research that can't be done unless you reclassify. So we are looking at that very strongly.
Mr. President?
Mr. President,
Katie?
is it true that the reports that you rebuked the Israeli Prime Minister,
Please.
are the reports that you rebuked the Israeli Prime Minister for the hit on the Hamas general true? And is Israel undermining your efforts to be a peacemaker?
No, Israel and I have gotten along very well. My relationship with Bibi Netanyahu has been obviously a very good one. Look, we took out Iran. We wiped out, with that plane right there, we wiped out the B-2 bomber. We wiped out the Iran nuclear threat. And because of that, we were able to make peace in the Middle East. No, we've had a very good relationship.
Yo, Trump is saying we won the war for like 3 weeks now. Yo, but they still bombing shit. Look. And we ain't win no motherfucking war, man. They still bombing shit, man. I just was looking at something earlier. This Israel bombed Lebanon.
This is the bridge the Israeli army destroyed yesterday. This is on the coastal road linking the south of Lebanon over there with the north up there. This was a key artery. People wanted to get from Tyre, the city of Tyre, up to the capital, Beirut. And as you can see, it is...
So Israel is trying to take over that whole Middle East. And we helping them. For what reason, yo? Your guess is good as mine, man. I think we all know, but...
completely and utterly destroyed. Israel says it's targeting infrastructure used by Hezbollah to supply the south with weapons and men, but it has sparked sharp criticism here in Lebanon. The Lebanese president, Joseph Aoun, saying the targeting
now look,
civilian
if we didn't have video, we wouldn't even know they was bombing Lebanon. Because they didn't announce this until video footage started coming out. Then they start, oh yeah, we got an operation going on in Lebanon too.
Structure is a clear, flagrant violation of Lebanon's sovereignty, and it's also collective punishment. The Lebanese people who've been displaced from the south of the country, they're wondering how are they going to get back to their homes with Israel targeting infrastructure that links the north and the south. We've also heard from the Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz saying that he wants...
JB, it's crazy you said that, right? I told my man that. Yo, that's the way that they moving. It lets you know that that's what they're going to do, man. People that move like this, they don't have no allegiance to nobody. They're just using whatever. I'm just people in general. They just use people until they get what they want, and then they turn their back on them. If these people have a history of being dishonest, disloyal, any people, any person, like I always say, right? If I got a homeboy, right, or you got a homegirl that stab one of y'all friends in the back, yo, we can no longer be friends. Because what makes that person different from me? I watched you snake this person out. We always cool. I watched you snake them out. I can no longer be cool with you. I can't trust you. I can't look at you the same. Because when the opportunity presents itself, you're going to do the same thing to me. And that's what they're going to do to the United States eventually. That's what they're going to do to the United States eventually.
The army to accelerate the destruction of
Lebanese
Lebanon
was told, but we wasn't told. Yeah, yo, that's all that's gonna happen, man. We're gonna help them gain control of everything they try and gain control of. Then they gonna flip. I ain't saying none of motherfucking airstrikes. Look at this shit. Look, he talking about the war is won. We didn't knock down all their missiles. This shit happened 3 days ago. 3 days ago. Look at this fucking missile they dropped. I think on Tel Aviv.
Whoa! 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 Abba! Whoa! Whoa! Abba, this hit the first pack. Wow! That is crazy. I just get... Wow!
Man, you think that's their last few bombs? You was tripping. look at this. You think this is their last few bombs? Man, fuck no. Yeah, Iran has been around for fucking eons, man. Look at that shit. It is, y'all. It's just fucked up. This ain't their last few bombs. Hey, look. Look at that shit. All that carnage left behind. Look, let me show y'all what they just announced. Since they say we winning so much. Starting April 20th, 2026, the U.S. Army will raise the maximum enlistment age from 34 to 42 and remove the waiver requirement for individuals for single prior conviction for marijuana possession. That don't look like we winning. That look like we trying to get more boots on the ground. Man, this shit's sad. This whole situation fucked up. We ain't got nothing to do with this, man. Nothing to do with it. At all. And then Trump just blamed. Look what Iraq said right here. Iraq announces that it has ended the war against the United States and Israel.
والاعتداءات غير المبررة والانتهاكات الجسيمة للسيادة العراقية.
You think only way this stops is if there's some kind of ceasefire. These people is going to fight to the end, man. It got to be some type of deal, some type of negotiation going on. But what it looks like is the Israelis don't want to negotiate. That's the only way this is going to stop.
واستهداف مقار الأجهزة الأمنية الرسمية قرر المجلس ما يأتي. أولا المواجهة والتصدي للاعتداءات العسكرية التي تنفذ من خلال الطيران الحربي والمسير التي تستهدف المقار والتشكيلات الأمنية الرسمية لهيئة الحشد الشعبي وباقي تشكيلات قواتنا المسلحة بالوسائل الممكنة وفق مبدأ حق الرد والدفاع عن النفس. وفي ضوء الاعتداءات غير
In light of the unjust attacks and grave violations, I'm just going to read it. In Iraq's sovereignty, regarding the targeting of official security headquarters, the council decided the following. First, confronting and countering military attacks carried out by warplanes and drones targeting headquarters and official security formations of the Popular Mobilization Forces and the rest of our armed forces formation by all possible means, in accordance with the principle of the right to respond and defend oneself. In light of the so you think this ready end? This ready turn to a world war, man? Told y'all last year World War III was coming. I don't think nobody else on the internet told y'all that. Or at least not in the space that I'm in. Check yo out.
עם ידידנו הנשיא טראמפ. הנשיא טראמפ מאמין שיש סיכוי למנף את ההישגים הכבירים של צה"ל וצבא ארצות הברית כדי לממש את יעדי המלחמה בהסכם. הסכם שישמור על האינטרסים החיוניים שלנו. במקביל, אנחנו ממשיכים לתקוף.
Hey Howard, don't fall that far down the rabbit hole, Wiz, or you can't see what's going on, man. For real. Don't be that much of a supporter of anybody or anything to where so you get blinded by what's right in front of you. That'd be my advice to you, man.
גם באיראן וגם בלבנון. אנחנו קודשים את תוכנית הטילים ותוכנית הגרעין עד דק וממשיכים לפגוע קשות בחיזבאללה. רק לפני ימים אחדים חיסלנו עוד 2 מדעני גרעין והיד עוד נטויה. אנחנו נשמור על האינטרסים החיוניים שלנו בכל מצב. מוקדם יותר היום שוחחתי עם ידידנו הנשיא טראמפ. הנשיא טראמפ מאמין שיש סיכוי
What else? Look.
If anyone needed an explanation of why Iran is the enemy of civilization and the enemy and the danger to the entire world, you got it in the last 48 hours. In the last 48 hours, they fired a terror weapon on civilians, on children. There's a children's nursery here.
People like to say black people play. These are professional victims. I don't think it's crazy. And I'm pretty sure that they probably the ones that put that label on black people. These are professional victims, man. Professional. Like they fucking mastered the art of victimhood. Of victimization. You hear me?
Person's home here.
No,
civilians, families, they fire terror weapons on civilians. And often they use cluster bombs, which are forbidden by international law. The second thing that they did is that they fired on Jerusalem right next to the holy places. They sent ballistic missiles that could have destroyed the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, the Al-Aqsa Mosque, and the Western Wall. The 3 holiest sites to the 3 monotheistic religions, they don't care. They're firing on everyone. The third thing they did is they fired...
they weaponized the Bible, yo. Just like they weaponized the Bible during slavery. I'm not saying them. Just like people weaponized the Bible during slavery.
In intercontinental ballistic missiles 4,000 kilometers right into Diego Garcia, the American-British base. They can reach now with these ballistic missiles everywhere in Europe, almost everywhere in Europe. I've been warning that for years. The fourth thing that they did is that they shut down.
Trying to scare Europe into joining in. Look, Europe, they can hit y'all too. I mean, don't think they can't reach y'all.
Important maritime strait of Hormuz, trying to blackmail the world with oil terror blackmail. 4 things that they're doing in 48 hours. And I ask the leaders of the world, the leaders of the free world, the leaders of the moderate states, what more are you waiting for? President Trump has correctly said that Israel, the United States and Israel in this great partnership, we're fighting the battle not only for ourselves, but for all of you. And he asked a simple question, where are you? And it's time to heed President Trump's call, his leadership, and his vision, not merely for our sake, but for your sake.
Y'all.
If anyone
this is amazing, man. It's crazy, yo. Like, how the fuck did... Yo got way too much power, man. It's amazing that people allow him to basically dictate everything that's going on. I think we already looked at this.
בניין בוער, ובני מתחיל לבוא. מה שהולך פה. בערד, גיא ישרה בערד. גיא ישרה בערד.
Shit is crazy.
If you want proof that Iran endangers the entire world, the last 48 hours have given it. In the last 48 hours, Iran targeted a civilian area.
Oh, we just watched that. Damn. Imagine being in the house and that shit happened. Damn. Right. Yo, they the ones that put that on us, Dexter. I was just talking to my little cousin about that shit. Yo, basically what they did was the same thing that was done to them with the media propaganda. They learned it and applied it. That's what they did. Let's get back to Trump press conference. I want to hear what Trump wanted to say about Iraq, saying they joining in.
Israel. We actually have a very good relationship with just about everybody in the Middle East.
Was that a violation of the ceasefire, the strike on the Hamas general?
We're going to have to, we're looking into that. Yeah, we're looking into that.
Right, what happened? Wasn't it just a ceasefire a couple months ago? The fuck happened to the ceasefire, man? Like, yo, Trump is looking real weak in this situation. Like, very weak. Like, he supposed to be the president of the United States, the biggest of the big. Yo, he did interviews saying that we signed an agreement or made an agreement to a ceasefire. And these motherfuckers were still bombing. Like, what the fuck? And nothing was said, nothing was done. No aid was taken from them. We still sending the money. Like, yo, this is crazy, y'all. Our money. The money that we go to work for, we sending that shit to them. This is crazy, man. That's how you know we're not winning. Because if we was winning, like he said we winning, we wouldn't need all this aid and all this help. They trying to get everybody to join in.
Yeah.
Forces. Do you still have confidence in the Syrian president?
I do. I mean, this had nothing to do with him. This is a part of Syria that they really don't have much control over. And it was a surprise. He feels very badly about it. He's working on it. He's a strong man. And this had nothing to do with the Syrian government. This had to do with ISIS.
What will the U.S. response be?
As a response, they'll be hit hard. Yeah.
Javier Negre, Real America's Voice en Español. First of all, thanks for honoring.
Then it's another thing, y'all. He don't even care about the people. Yo, the American people, if they was to do a poll on the American people supporting this fight, I would love to see. Don't you know how they do the census? Don't you know how they do the census when they come to your house and they want to know how many people live there? You gotta send it. Yo, they need to do a poll on this war. Yo, what y'all think the percentages would be? The American people that's for this war versus not. Yo, that shit probably 80-20. I mean, maybe 70-30. Yo, but I think the people that's not for this war will be winning by a fucking landslide, man. Like, the percentages probably be crazy, man. He don't even care.
The communists have lost Chile. The pro-Trump candidate, José Antonio Caz, won the elections. Do you think this right-wing wave in
I think so too.
Influence?
Well, we just had a good one in Honduras, as you know. Had a great election there. I endorsed somebody that was not leading, and he won the election. And we had a good one just a couple of hours ago. I found out in Chile, the person I endorsed, who was not leading, ended up winning quite easily. So I look forward to paying my respects to him. I hear he's a very good person. Yeah.
President, thank you, Mr. President. This year you fired Democrats from a number of federal agencies, and now going into 2026, there are some key regulators like the SEC, the CFTC that are going to have 0 Democrats.
Exactly, Dexter.
Do you plan to appoint Democrats to fill those empty spots, or do you think that federal agencies shouldn't have Democrat commissioners?
Well, do you think they would be appointing Republicans if it were up to them? So, we'll look at it. Look, we want to be fair, but Typically, they're not appointing Republicans, so you're asking me the question whether or not I'd appoint Democrats. But there are certain areas that we do look at, and there are certain areas that we do share power, and I'm open to that. Please.
Mr. President, a number of Republicans have denounced your statement on Truth Social after the murder of Rob Reiner. Do you stand by that post?
Well, I wasn't a fan of his at all. He was a deranged person as far as Trump is concerned. He said he knew it was false. In fact, it's the exact opposite, that I was a friend of Russia, controlled by Russia. You know, it was the Russia hoax. He was one of the people behind it. I think he hurt himself in career-wise. He became like a deranged person, Trump derangement syndrome. So I was not a fan of Rob Reiner at all, in any way, shape, or form. I thought he was very bad for our country.
Yeah, we all seen the gas
Mr.
prices.
President, Leader Thune doesn't seem like he wants to get rid of blue slips. Will there be consequences for the Senate? If they
Well, I think they should get rid of blue slips because
gas prices high.
As a Republican president, I am unable to put anybody in office having to do with U.S. attorneys or having to do with judges. In other words, if you have one, not two, you don't need two, just one.
So the crazy thing about it, though, that's a lot of MAGA don't support this. So it's not, from what I see on social media, you know, and I know social media isn't the end all be all, but whenever I see these political posts on social media, yo, a large percentage of people is against this shit. White, black, whoever. I mean, there's against it, yo, because it's not serving the interests of the United States. Like, yo, why are we there? What benefit are we gaining from this? We're not benefiting anything. We're just losing. We're losing soldiers. Fucking gas prices. Yo, gas prices went up damn near $2 overnight. You know what I mean? Like, yo, we losing all around the board with this dumbass war that doesn't benefit us.
One Democrat senator, where we have a lot of
but a lot of them falling
one
off,
Democrat
falling
senator
off.
in a state, it is not possible to appoint, because of blue slips, a judge. It's not possible to appoint a U.S. attorney. You see that happening. And I think it's a disgrace. I think blue slips are a disgrace.
For midterms.
Yeah, well, I won that whole than anybody could have thought. I would have said that half of the wars that I got settled, some were going for over 30 years, that half of them
That's
should have
what
been
it
more
is, though,
difficult, and they actually haven't been.
That's really what it
There's
is.
a lot of dislike between the two leaders, you know that, and so it probably makes it a little bit tough.
Have you recently spoken directly to Putin? Have you recently spoken directly to Putin?
Yeah, I have.
On Syria, Mr. President, on the U.S. troops killed in Syria over the weekend, why do we have troops in Syria?
Because we're trying to make sure that there's going to be and remain peace in the Middle East, and Syria is a big part of it. The new leader is a strong person, and that's what you need. This is a rough part of the world, and it's been amazing what's taken place in Syria.
It's my thing, right? If all of this is supposed to be biblical, you know, that's what Israel, that's what they use to justify the things that they do. Yo, also in the Bible, yo, it say that it's going to be war on that land. It's going to be war to the end of time. That's what it says, man. Like, why? Like if we're gonna reference the Bible for things, reference the whole Bible. Don't just pick and choose what part of the Bible you want to make reality, or what part of the Bible you want to live by or die by. Live by the whole book. So if it's already documented that land over there is going to be plagued with wars and famine and whatever other things the Bible said about that land, what are we doing? It's like we're fighting a never-ending war. It's never going to end, based off the Bible, right? So at that point, why are we over there? That's what I don't understand. I don't understand that.
We got rid of Assad. We got rid of other people that were really bad people.
God
that were in the way of
925?
peace in the Middle East. You know, we have legitimate peace in the Middle East, first time in 3,000 years. And we have 59 countries backing it. And we'll see what happens with Hamas. We'll see what happens with Hezbollah. But regardless, we have countries that want to go in and clean that out if we want them to do it. But they said in the case of Hamas, they said that they're going to disarm, and we're going to find out whether or not that's true. Hezbollah in Lebanon has been a problem. We'll see what happens there. But there is legitimate large-scale peace
Man,
in
these
the
were
Middle East. And if there
559
weren't,
out
we
this
wouldn't have
bitch
been
in PA.
able to make all of those
That shit was
deals that
just
we've
4
made with the
hours.
various countries. They would have never been able to do that. If, for instance, if Iran, if we didn't, with that B-2 bomber right there on the desk, if we didn't, of which we just ordered a lot more of the newer version, totally stealth. They could not see it. They knew it was coming. They had no idea where it was. It was pretty amazing, actually. Every bomb hit its mark perfectly, despite CNN trying to say differently. They didn't know. They just, hoped. They hoped that we didn't, but turned out that they did. Atomic Energy Commission confirmed it. So did Iran confirm it. They got knocked to hell. But if we didn't knock out their nuclear capability, we would have never had peace.
Yo, they don't have no nuclear. Like, yo, what the fuck? Like they over this bitch like blatantly lying. So this is the difference between then and now. Now we got social media and people got different Yo, they don't have any nuclear capabilities.
Who is in charge of our policy in the Middle East? Who is in charge of when we decide to go to war or not? In this case, with what the Secretary described, and later on the President, later on the Speaker of the House, and the way the events played out, the Israelis drove the decision to take this action, which we knew would set off a series of events, meaning the Iranians would retaliate. Now, I think there's a potential there where we could have done several different things. We could have simply said to the Israelis, no, you will not. And if you do, then we will take something away from you. I think that it's fine that we offer defense to Israel. But when we're providing the means for their defense, we get to dictate the terms of when they go on the offensive. Otherwise, they stand to lose that relationship. And the Israelis felt emboldened that no matter what they did, no matter what situation they put us in, that they could go ahead and take this action, and we would just have to react. Who is in charge of our policy in the Middle East? Who is in charge of?
He spoke about Iran nuclear capabilities.
In modern Jewish history, and it begins with 3 words. Dear Lord Rothschild.
Dear Lord Rothschild, I have much pleasure in conveying to you, on behalf of His Majesty's government, the following declaration of sympathy with Jewish Zionist aspirations, which has been submitted to and approved by the Cabinet.
Why was it that this letter was sent by the Foreign Secretary to your great-uncle Walter?
Yeah, I've seen that.
It's an interesting question because it was primarily a movement from Eastern Europe. But they didn't clarify who was in charge of that movement. And in addition, it was, after all, in Great Britain. So they felt that the Rothschild family should be the one to whom it was addressed.
That's crazy in Australia, man. They got a cap on fuel down that bitch. How long that shit been going on? Hold on, man. I got hella other videos. Hold on. Has it always been like that? What the fuck I do with all my videos I got? Must be all I got. Well, let's get back to Trump.
Because you would have had a dark cloud hanging over Saudi Arabia, Qatar, UAE, and all the other countries, and they would have never, ever been able to sign an agreement. Yeah, please.
How soon do you expect that international stabilization force to be up and running in Gaza?
I think that it's, in a form, it's already running. In a very strong form, it's already running. But it'll get stronger and stronger, and more countries are coming into it. They're already in, but they'll send any number of troops that I ask them to send. They want to see peace. We have more than 59 countries. We have many many countries that aren't even in the Middle East, but they're fairly close to the Middle East. They want to be involved. So it's been pretty amazing.
Friday?
Mr. President.
And Ukraine, we had a long discussion, and things are seemingly going well, but we've been saying that for a long time, and it's a difficult one. We had, as you know, settled 8 wars, and one was having a little problem yesterday, Thailand and Cambodia. We were able to straighten that out. Core mission of the United States military to protect and defend the homeland, and today we're here to honor our military men and women for their... In a period of 2 months, we turned it into the strongest border in the history of... Terrible words. They actually have me speaking with words that I never said, and they got caught. That's 4 sides up big. I mean, anymore because they know they're not going to get through. In a little while, you'll be seeing I'm suing the BBC for putting words in my mouth. Literally, they put words in my mouth. They had me saying things that I never said coming out. I guess they used AI or something. So we'll be bringing that lawsuit. A lot of people are asking, when are you bringing that lawsuit? Even the media can't believe that one. They actually put terrible words in my mouth having to do with January 6th that I didn't say. And the beautiful words that I said, right? The beautiful words. Talking about patriotism and all of the good things that I said, they didn't say that, but they put terrible words. They actually have me speaking with words that I never said, and they got caught because I believe somebody at BBC said, this is so bad, it has to be reported. That's called fake news. So we'll be filing that suit probably this afternoon or tomorrow morning. I want to thank all of you for being here. If you have any questions, I guess you could ask, but this is really a day of celebration for these people. The job they've done is really unprecedented. So go ahead.
On Brown University, Mr. President, do you know what the motive of the shooter was? Was it a targeted attack?
That's moving along now, and we don't, and we're going to see what happens. Hopefully they're going to capture this animal. Hopefully they're going to capture it.
Has Kash Patel told you why it's been so difficult for the FBI to identify who the shooter is?
Well, it's always difficult. So far, we've done a very good job of doing it with Charlie, with, the various times this has happened. They've done it in pretty much record time. But you really have to ask the school a little bit more about that because, this was a school problem. They had their own guards, they had their own police, they had their own everything, but you'd have to ask that question really to the school, not to the FBI. We came in after the fact, and the FBI will do a good job, but they came in after the fact.
Do you know if it was targeted, Mr. President?
No, they don't know that yet, no.
Sir, on the issue of drugs, is it accurate that you are considering an executive order?
So they must have ran it back. Hold up, y'all. This interview must have skipped the parts I was looking for.
Puka Nacua was accused of yelling.
Little mishap. They shot down 3 planes with our missiles. They happen to be our planes, but the pilots made it. Can you imagine the pilots making it? The pilots saw what was coming.
Well,
and they said, those are patriots. We're not going to escape patriots. And they got out of there pretty quick, Pete, right? Pretty amazing that they got out. The 3 pilots lived. They're fine. In fact, they're flying today.
Yo, Donald Trump blamed the war on one of his motherfucking cabinet members. Hold on. Let me see if I can find that. Donald Trump blames. Did y'all see this? Look at this
And
shit.
they're very close to having a nuclear weapon. We can keep going and get that 50,000 up to 55 and 60 is no end. Or we can take a stop and make a little journey into the Middle East and eliminate a big problem. And Pete, I think you were the first one to speak up. And you said, let's do it. Because you can't let them have a nuclear weapon.
Yo, that's fucked up, yo. Why would you do that to that man? Yo, look at Joe. Yeah, that conversation never happened, man.
So we are now having really good discussions. They started last
Hey, why
night,
you do that to
little
yo?
bit, the night before that.
Why you do that to that man, yo? He had nothing to do with that shit, man. Look.
And Pete, I think you were the first one to speak up, and you said, "Let's do it," because you can't let them have a nuclear weapon. So we are now having really good discussions. They started last
over that bitch stuck.
night, a little bit the night before that, and I think they're very good. They want peace. They've agreed they will not have a nuclear weapon, et cetera, et cetera. But we'll see. You have to get it done. But I would say there's a very good chance. And it began when I said that I won't be. We were planning tomorrow on shooting down some of their power plants, and we're going to hold that up. Hopefully we won't have to do it. And hopefully we can make a deal that's good for all of us, including the Middle Eastern allies that have been very good to us, including Israel, that's been a great partner in this fight. They've really been a good partner in the fight. They fought hard. But we'll see what happens. I think there's a very good chance we're going to end up in a deal. And so we're giving it 5 days, and then we're...
Yo, one of the worst things that happened to politicians is the internet, man. Because now these words is documented. You can't say one thing, then say another thing, and people forget what you said the first time. Now, look how long Benjamin Netanyahu been trying to convince us.
Iran could produce a nuclear weapon in a very short time. It could be a year. They have the wherewithal, the stored up, preserved knowledge to make a bomb very quickly if they wanted to.
Iran is so dangerous. Weeks away from having the fissile material for an entire arsenal of nuclear bombs.
They're very close. They're 6 months away from being about 90% of having the enriched uranium for an atom bomb. Iran is gearing up to produce 25 bombs, atomic bombs a year, 250 bombs in a day. Iran will be capable of producing alone, without importing anything, nuclear bombs within 3 to 5 years.
Yo, for 30 fucking years he been saying that shit, man. 30 years, yo. I don't think it take 30 years to build no nuclear bomb, man. Maybe I'm tripping. I ain't no no specialist in weaponry or nothing, but I wouldn't think it takes 30 years. Like, that's a very long time.
Saddam has nuclear weapons. The terror network will have nuclear weapons. The next thing you'll see is a nuclear bomb in the World Trade Center. If you take out Saddam's regime, I guarantee you that it will have enormous positive reverberations on the region. If not stopped, Iran could produce a nuclear weapon in a very short time. It could be a year. They have the
wherewithal. Yo, come on now, man. Get the fuck out of here, man. Them people ain't even interested.
Moments
so did y'all see this? So, Joe Kent said he's willing to testify on the behalf of Tyler Robinson in Charlie Kirk's case. Because he said that he was stopped. The counter terrorism department was stopped from investigating Charlie Kirk's death and any connection to any outside countries.
So a new report from journalist Michael Schellenberger dropped. As you know, yesterday we covered
he said he was getting
the
speeches
backstory, but what really happened with the screen grabs, the notorious screen grabs now, and I revealed to this audience that I did in fact share that screen grab with Joe Kent, and Joe suggested that I leak that publicly. I declined. I went back through our messages, and he suggested I do so twice.
Yeah, they won't get him out of there.
I declined. Obviously, those were private messages. I wanted to keep them private
Joe
for
Kent's
Charlie's sake. I thought that was
pull a Julian Assange or Edward Snowden. That's what Joe Kent is going to have to do.
Honoring my friend. Anyway, so this new report comes out from Schellenberger, and it says, as you see on your screen, that Joe Kent says he's willing to testify at the trial of Tyler Robinson. So this is obviously a huge bombshell and escalates everything to a much bigger level. I have reached out to Michael Schellenberger.
and he has agreed to come on the show today. He interviewed Joe Kent for this report, so these are Joe Kent's own words. Michael Schellenberger will be joining us at 1:30 Eastern, so set your clocks and please tune in then. It's going to be an important conversation. And Blake, let's just take this out a step and explain why this is actually a really important thing. As you know, there's a lot of conspiracy theories that we do not indulge, that we do not discuss. This is different. Joe Kent was a government official at a very important post, and now he's saying he's willing to testify ostensibly on behalf of Tyler Robinson.
Yes.
This is a bigger deal. This is a line cross that we have not seen.
Yes. Let's just recite it, where he says, Kent, this is Schellenberger's reporting on Substack. Kent said he knew he might be called as a witness before he made his statements that a, quote, foreign nexus may have been involved in Kirk's assassination. I was definitely warned of that over and over again, said Kent. If I end up having to play that role, then I'll do it. It's not something I'm seeking. When pressed that his testimony could help the Robinson defense, Kent said, then honestly, so be it. If it gets us to the truth, that's obviously the risk I'm taking. Neither Robinson's
I think
attorneys...
anybody with sense or history or know the history about assassinations, you know ain't no one person just do that shit. I mean, history says Tyler Robinson wasn't the only... If he was indeed the person that pulled the trigger, history says he had help. So for him to be the only person arrested for it, let you know it's some nefarious things going on behind closed doors, man.
Nor the prosecuting attorneys responded to a request for comment. And then it looks, I'm not sure if there's more. I might have to pay for Schellenberger's subscription.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I'm sure it does go further. And we're going to, like I said, be talking to Michael Schellenberger in the second half of next hour at 1:30 Eastern. And I can't wait to hear what he has to say. Moments ago,
See, yo, the problem is, yo, and the reason why it seems like they're scrambling, you know, to take Diddy words that they're scrambling and scraping, is that for years, for decades, you know, before social media, they was able to control the narrative. And it's getting harder, excuse me, it's getting harder to control the narrative when everybody has a voice now. You know, some people's voice is bigger than others, but everybody has a say-so in what's going on in the world. So it's kind of hard for them to convince people opposite of what they see, you know. And that's what's going on right now. That's why you got Benjamin Netanyahu talking about we need to take over TikTok and shit like that. Did y'all see when he said that? Hold on.
Just an unfortunate play on the other end. My goodness. I want to see that.
I'm put up on my phone. Benjamin Netanyahu TikTok influencers. Y'all see when he said this?
And what we have to do is we have to secure that part of the base of our support in the United States. That is being challenged systematically. A lot of this is done with money. Money of NGOs.
God damn.
Be around people that want you to win. Be around people.
And what we have to do is we have to secure that part of the base of our support in the United States. That is being challenged systematically. A lot of this is done with money. Money of NGOs, vast. Money of governments, vaster. Okay? We have to fight back. How do we fight back? Our influencers. I think you should also talk to them if you have a chance. To that community. They're very important. And the most important ones are in social media. And the most important purchase that is going on right now is class.
Followers.
TikTok. TikTok, number one. And I hope it goes through because it can be consequential. And the other one, what's the other one? That's most important. X. X. That's very good. And, so we have to talk to Elon. He's not an enemy. He's a friend. We should talk to him. Now, if we can get those two things, we get a lot. And I could go on other things, but that's not the point right now. We have to fight the fight.
Yeah, look.
Okay? And what we have to do is
It's crazy, man. Like, yo, they're losing their victimhood. A lot of people are starting to view, that flag differently, man. And I think they know that. I think they know that. Yo, they need to stop allowing foreign countries to fucking finance our politicians. That's what they need to stop. Like if they really want things to work how it's supposed to work, and we don't have all these outside influences, they need to stop that shit, man. Fuck else did I watch? Alright. Let's move along. Hold on.
Moody. Open lane, awkward plant, goes down hard, and that is it. And just an unfortunate play on the other end. And my goodness. I want to see that.
This shit is fucking crazy, man. Erica Kirk is suspect. I've been saying she was suspect for a while. Everything she doing has been suspect. Everything she been doing. God damn. Look at that shit. U.S. submarine. Damn. Look at that bomb, yo. Y'all see that shit fucking gliding on top of the water or under the water? Look at that shit. Damn. This is in February. That shit crazy, man.
مسيرة اضرب 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 اضرب
I think that's them attacking the U.S. Navy base. But I think they warned them to get out of there before they did it. So I guess that's the cluster bombs that Netanyahu said was illegal. That shit crazy. They be over that bitch bombing the shit out of each other. March 11th. Can't play the music. I don't know about that now, sir. I think that's that same bomb we was just looking at in Israel. All right. Yeah, he definitely was. That bitch don't look look like they penetrated that motherfucker to me. They definitely getting missiles through. They shooting some down, but they ain't shooting all of them down. This them hitting Tel Aviv. They fucked that shit up. I don't know. A little missile right there coming up. Israeli Iron Dome appears to miss. The Iron Dome missed this missile. Oh shit. Look. Missed the shit out the missile. This went right past the fucking Iron Dome. That ain't nothing 100%, man. What kind of missiles is those? There's so much technology. So which one is chasing which? Oh, this missile chasing that one? Intercept incoming Iranian missile on Tel Aviv.
تغيير في التكتيك صاروخين صاروخين. تغيير في التكتيك صاروخين
God damn. Easy sub over wide area. Submachine. impact on an Israel target. Yeah, that shit crazy, man. All this shit crazy. Alright, man, let's I don't know what's gonna come out of this. More than likely it's gonna get worse before it get better. That shit crazy, yo. Jesus Christ, look at this shit. And Trump said he ran out of missiles. Man, shit, no the fuck they didn't. They shooting them like that, they ain't run out of goddamn thing. You know, you running out, you want to be more careful. You know, you don't want, you ain't gonna just shoot 80 of them bitches at a person or at a country or at a target at once. I ran hypersonic missiles. Damn. Y'all saying that? I got hypersonic missiles too. Look at that motherfucker. Damn.
כל המפרץ פיצוץ אחד גדול! תסגרי את החלון מהר! אתם רואים את העשן שם מעל נמל חיפה? משהו בוער שם. בואי, טילי פרסוני! אלוהים!
Man, you better leave them people alone, man. That's what we need to do, man. Leave the people alone, man. Let Israel fight their own fucking war, man. Look at this shit. This is 3 weeks ago. Bombing shit out them motherfuckers, man.
Iran, please stop. We lose, you win. Please stop. Please, Iran, forgive us. Stop the destruction. Iran, please stop.
Damn, yo, that's crazy, man. He said, "Cat down." Yo, they started it though, yo. They started it. Can't beg for mercy now. I agree. Central Israel. This is bombing shit now, man. Whatever they feel like it. Like those people being affected by like this that's what I'm saying. War is ugly, man. Nobody really wins in war. Nobody wins, man. I don't know what that is. Shit. Yeah, yo, that shit fucked up, man. I don't know. I know the United States need to fall back. We fucking got our people dying and shit for nothing. Something that don't serve the American interest at all. What's up, Mr. Cater? Don't serve the interests of America at all, man. And I showed y'all what Iraq said. Bring it back for people that just got in here.
والانتهاكات الجسيمة للسيادة العراقية واستهداف مقار الأجهزة الأمنية الرسمية قرر المجلس ما يأتي. أولا، المواجهة والتصدي للاعتداءات العسكرية التي تنفذ من خلال الطيران الحربي والمسير، التي تستهدف المقار والتشكيلات الأمنية الرسمية لهيئة الحشد الشعبي وباقي تشكيلات قواتنا المسلحة بالوسائل الممكنة وفق مبدأ حق الرد والدفاع عن النفس، وفي ضوء الاعتداءات غير المبررة والانتهاكات الجسيمة للسيادة العراقية واستهداف مقار الأجهزة الأمنية الرسمية، قرر المجلس.
Y'all. Let's see how it all pan out. This would Trump have to say about Joe Kent.
Mr. President, do you know whether Joe Kent was leaking?
Look, I'm not a fan of the guy. If you look at, and you never cover this, if you look at his truths or whatever he went on, if it's X or truth, if you look at his truths or his statements, he was all for everything. All of a sudden, he wasn't. He was a man that I met at Dover. He came and his wife was killed. He remarried fairly quickly. His wife was killed, and I felt badly for him. He ran for Congress, he lost. He ran for Congress again and he lost. I said, you know, he's a guy, nice guy, seemed like a very nice guy. I met him, he was pretty heartbroken, pretty. But I said, you know, it's a shame. He ran for Congress twice. Call him up, give him a job in the White House. Smart. They gave him a job in the White House, and this is what he does to me, you know? Being a nice guy doesn't pay off too much. Think of it. He loses twice in Congress, ran not very good campaigns, should have won, but he loses twice. How do I get him? I have my people call him, because I didn't deal with him for the most part. I saw him a couple of times, but I never dealt with him at all. I had no idea his ideology was left or right, whatever it is. I can say this. He said very strongly that Iran is not a threat. Iran's been a threat for 47 years, and there's not a country in the world that doesn't agree with me on that. So I take this guy, Joe Kent, who lost twice for Congress, pretty badly and tough, and was devastated, and I know that he lost his wife. So instead of letting him live out his life, I brilliantly have my people call him and offer him a job in security, essentially, in the White House. And what does he do? He goes out and he says that Iran is not a threat to get publicity. Now, he probably signed up with CNN or maybe signed up with your division of Newsmax, I don't know, but probably signed up with CNN or somebody. But if you look at his tweets, X's or truths, whatever he uses, I don't know because I don't follow him. What he said is 100% he agrees with me. All of a sudden he leaves. I never knew he had a problem. Now I hear they're looking at him for leaking. That's possible. But just so you understand, just to put it to rest, he lost twice badly. He also lost his wife. He's remarried since. He lost his wife. I felt badly for him. So I told my people, reach out to him.
So basically, he's a loser. I mean, he lost his wife. He lost twice in the Senate. That's basically what Trump is saying. Joe Kent's a loser. Yeah, I mean, fuck him. I know he was on my cabinet. You know, I know I trusted him with counterterrorism. But yeah, he's a loser, man. I don't fuck with y'all.
Give him a job.
All because he can't back this war. That's what he said in his letter of resignation. Like, I can't back this war, man. I can't be a part of this shit.
The White House. This is the thanks I get. Any other talking to Iran?
Joe Kent better get the fuck out of the United States. Immediately. Immediately. That's what the fuck Joe Kent need to do. Because they're going to be on his ass. For real. Alright, y'all. So we got to get to some hip-hop. OTF VONNIE, man. Lil Durk case. OTF VONNIE, man. Not worse than a fucking rat. I think that's how Trump feel about Joe Kent. Nobody likes a rat, man.
Some new paperwork just dropped in Durk's case.
Yeah, so basically, can I get on Twitter on here, or they got me locked out on here? I think they got me locked out. Let me see. Yep, I'm locked out.
And y'all know I really don't like to talk about this case, but I feel like this really needed to be discussed. Some new paperwork just dropped. It is a proposed trial scheduling order. The trial is scheduled for April 20th, I believe, as of right now. Dee Dee's lawyer, Houston's lawyer, and Lindsay's lawyer are all in agreement for a continuance. Part of that reason is broken down in the schedule is because they were all arrested at different times, and you know, they've all filed different motions which have affected the trial date. Now, Durk is not in agreement with this. Let me explain to y'all why. Because Durk was taken into custody, I believe, before them, and also he's pushing for the speedy trial because he's trying to make them separate the trials. So for everybody that's seeing that Durk is not in agreement with the continuance, that's a strategic move by his attorneys. What that does is, if he loses, it gives him grounds for an appeal because he can come back and filter through these motions and stuff and say, well, there was no reason to postpone my trial date for this. Also, it's a strategy to force the government's hand and try to get these trials separated, which we see now it didn't work. Anyway, the trial date is important, but what's important to me is this document, it lists Durk, Banks, Lindsay, Houston. I said Durk Banks. Yeah, Durk Banks. What's his name? I can't think of his first name. Lindsay, but Asa Houston and Dee Dee Wilson. It mentions all of them. It doesn't mention a few other people who were originally included in the indictment. Now, when I take this information and I couple it with the fact that when Durk was trying to get the evidence kept out of court, when he was filing the motions to keep the evidence out of court, the 404B evidence, the government responded and they said that if the judge does allow this evidence, they anticipate that a jury instruction will be given that you should not take the word of a person who has pleaded guilty in exchange, you know, for leniency and participating in this crime. Y'all shouldn't take his word, you know, at face value, not all the way. Like, it shouldn't be just he's telling the truth, because this is a person who participated in this crime. Forgive me, I'm a little lost for words right now. But that told me that somebody who is accused of participating in this crime is cooperating, and they plan to testify.
I think it's a few people cooperating. I think Flagger, forgot his name. What's his real name? Hold on. Flagger. I think he's cooperating too, man. Cause his name hasn't been on. I forgot his name though. His name hasn't been on any documents either. Now the thing about him is he don't know Durk. So he really can't testify as to what Durk knew about the whole situation. he could testify to what he may have heard. You know, maybe somebody told him Durk dropping the bag, but he can't. You know, testify with any real first-hand knowledge. What the fuck is your name, man? Yeah, are you still here? What's the flagger dude name, man? Flagger. I can find out. Lil Durk indictment. Co-defendants. Damn, they got him on this bitch. Oh, Keith Jones. Keith Jones not named. His name not on there either. And his name has been missing from a lot of court documents. No, not Lindsay. Keith Jones. Let me see. Yeah. I don't niggas, I don't like that shit. Maybe if you can't hold your motherfucking water, man, stay the fuck out of trouble. Maybe you shouldn't be involving yourself in that type to this capacity. So this is about current trial dates, proposed trial dates. All these guys are going to trial on 8/20/2026. That's the date that they aiming for. They got DeAndre Dontrell Wilson, OTF DD. You got David Lindsay. That's Brown Eyes. You got Asa Houston. And you got Lil Durk. Lil Durk name is the one that's... God damn it. I fucked it up. You got Dirk Banks. They only ones going to trial, man. So the mother, so VONNIE and Jones already in some type of agreement with the federal government. Like this is like this irrefutable right here. You know what I mean? They're already in some type of agreement with the government. Because they didn't grant them motions to sever, which means they all going to trial on this date. Who filed this motion? Yeah, so the government filed this motion. Yep. So it's only 4 of them going to trial. Whoever else is in this case already, he probably is. Whoever else on this case is not going to trial. They're already in some type of agreement with law enforcement. You know, pending testimony or something. Yeah, but this is proof, man. Whoever ain't on this list, telling or cooperating to some level. Yeah, it's fucked up, yo. And I think they said that yeah, I don't think him or Brown Eyes know. I think that didn't they say VONNIE was on the plane with Durk? Depending on what VONNIE say, that shit can seriously hurt Durk's chances to beat this case. That's just me keeping it all the way real. Now, you still got to get cross-examined, you know. His word isn't the end-all, be-all. You know, but if you factor his word with somebody else's word, it start painting a picture, yo, that's going to be hard to motherfucking refute. You know what I mean? Start painting a picture that's gonna be hard to refute, man. We'll see how this shit shape out. It's gonna be. It's definitely an uphill battle. Yeah, Vonnie was on the plane. Vonnie a bitch. Punk ass. I don't like that. I don't like dudes that do that, yo. I don't. That's crazy, man. Yo, whenever you come, you gotta factor in that you can go to jail for that shit, man. Yeah, man. Like I always say, if you can't do 10 years, yo, don't be doing crimes that's gonna get you 10 years, man. Like, you know, all these charges got, you know, sentencing guidelines on 'em. If you out here participating in a murder, this Lil Durk case, and you know good and goddamn well that nobody wants to do life in prison, but you couldn't even do life. You wouldn't do life in prison if you had to. Then yo, you shouldn't be out here trying to kill nobody, yo, because that's what the fuck they giving people. You know what I mean? If it ain't life, it's 30, 40, 50. It's a very long time. You know, it's basically your life. By the time you come home, you will not be the same person you was when you left the streets. So it's like, yo, stay the fuck out of that shit, man. But even with, I don't know, man. That's fucked up. That's fucked up. I don't get it. I don't understand people. I don't understand them. Don't. That's crazy. Especially somebody with Durk. Like, Durk's biggest mistake was, my head, this ain't no goddamn weave. Just a freaking weave to you, yo. Fucking weave. Yo, Durk's biggest mistake was his girl was on the plane too. Where the fuck you get that information from? Where you see that at? Is she cooperating too? Jesus Christ. Where the fuck where you find that out at, Al? That was on Reddit or something? Cause that shit ain't been in no paperwork. But yo, Durk, and this is why I'm so upset with this Durk situation. Is because it gives credibility to leaving the guys behind. You know. It makes that argument of, yo, once you get money, separate yourself from the people that you've been around. Or separate yourself from, you know, it makes that argument credible, man. Because that was Durk's biggest mistake. Durk's biggest mistake is he wanted to help everybody. You know, he wanted to bring people out of certain situations if they was beneficial. And I'm sure he didn't do it without no reason or without cause, but if he felt as though a person was beneficial to his situation, regardless of what their background was, he'll bring them on and he'll rock with them. And to see those same guys help take them down, it's like, damn, bro, that's crazy. You know how many people would have died for an opportunity to just be in Durk entourage? You know what I mean? Just being around stardom, just having the opportunity to be in those circles and you can find a way to get your own money. He ain't had to give you shit. There was a video of Vonnie girl on an Airbnb with Vonnie. What was it from that same day? You know, ain't no guarantee she took the plane though. She could have got a ride or, you know, took another plane. I don't know, man. Shit, he can get up there and say, yo, yeah, I was on, you know, man, Durk went over there and, you know, he had an interview lined up, and I was just going along for the interview. You know, he could say anything. But more than likely, what they're going to want him to say is, we had a conversation prior to getting on the plane, and Durk was fully aware of what was going on. What's up, G-Man? That's what they're going to want him to say. Now, whether he say that or not, who knows? But I think in order for him to get a deal, that's what he's going to probably have to say. He's going to have to say that, yeah, Durk knew. Because that's all this case is about, Durk. I mean, everybody else is collateral damage. They want Durk. They want the name. You know, the feds clout chase, just like the average YouTuber or blogger or, you know, influencer. The feds clout chase too. They want a name, man. You know what I mean? They'll sacrifice everything for a name. Durk was there for music. It's a picture of him with DJ Khaled. Yeah, so, maybe he'll say that. Yeah, we went out there for, to record. But that's all the feds need, though. They create their own narrative from that. You know what I mean? It all boils down to, y'all, how the case is presented. Regardless of what evidence they got, regardless of what witnesses testify, it's only, it's going to be all boiled down to how Brian Steele present his case, how the federal government present their case. Like I said, come opening statements, you'll be able to know who got a better case, who got a better chance of winning, based off of opening statements. That's really the most important part. Opening and closing is the most important part of the trial. All that other shit that go on in the middle is pivotal and vital, but it's more about opening and closing. That's what it's really about, man. It's about creating a picture for the jury. Like I said, you want to have a lawyer that got some type of swag that can deliver it. You don't want the jury to just hear you. You want them to feel you. You understand? I don't really think that rap lyrics in the videos, I don't think that's going to have as much weight as, some of these guys are supposed to be testifying. I think them rap lyrics could potentially hurt the case, because everybody not buying into that, depending on, the juror's background and what they're involved in and, how their life went. Like, I know I wouldn't be inclined to listen to a rap lyric and say, because with the lyrics that they played, there's no real clear depiction or evidence that Durk is rapping about this crime. They just want to because they don't really have strong evidence on Durk. They really don't. Even with the witnesses, they don't really have strong, conclusive, rock solid proof that Durk was fully aware of this shit. They don't. That's why they're using music videos, and that's why they want to bring in text messages where Durk saying, I did this to this person, and we rolled through there, wasn't nobody around. Like, they want to produce that shit, in order to make their case more credible. Man, a lot of rappers get locked up. Yeah, but I don't even think that's the narrative no more, Al. I think they moved away from bounty. I think their focus now is death by stalking. I think that's what they're going to try to get Durk on. Because they got somebody, and I think it's Jam, that's testifying as to both murders. I mean, both shootings. The shooting that happened in Georgia and the murder that happened in California. Why am I mad? Because I don't like rats, yo. I think, because you don't have to participate in crime, especially murder. That's a choice. That's not something you have to do. You don't have to go out there and, if whoever was involved, you could have said, yo, I don't want nothing to do with that, man. I don't want nothing to do with that. Once you involve yourself, yo, you're supposed to stand on it. You don't turn around and start telling on your co-defendants. You know what I mean? That's I've been told on before, y'all, and it's not a good feeling. I'm trying to tell you, especially by somebody that you love or have some type of respect for. Man, that shit ain't cool, man. You in here fighting for your life, and this motherfucker gonna turn around and take a deal and then testify on you in court. Nah, man, I can't fuck with that. What's up, pretty tames? Fuck you been at? I can't fuck with that. I don't like it. And like I said, with Durk, we need people like Durk. Durk, people from the community that's gonna get money and try to uplift other members of the community, no matter what their background is, no matter if they've been to jail, prison, no matter what we need them type of people, man. Those type of people help build the community. Because if I bring you up, you can bring somebody else up. That person can bring somebody. It brings up the community. But what happens is the same people that you help bringing up, and in Durk's case, they fucking brought him down. I mean, that's the most egregious part out of the whole situation. Because now the next person is going to be more inclined to say, can't fuck with you. You feel me? You know, the shit that you got going on might bring me down, yo. So I'm gonna have to separate from you completely. And how does that help? You know, how is one person getting rich helping? No, yo, we try and bring everybody up if we can. And it's like that's what Durk was trying to do, at least for his particular crew, particular guys. And these same guys didn't appreciate it. You know, they didn't appreciate it. They turned around and folded on him. That's fucked up, man. That's fucked up. Down bad for that, man. Need to be ashamed of himself. Him and his bitch ass fall. Bitch ass niggas. No, I looked it up, yo. Jan wasn't locked up yet. Jan got locked up shortly after the first shooting. You remember we looked it up probably like a month ago. Jan got locked up right after the shooting in Georgia.
There's nothing like extra time to play.
Hey, Okafor, where you from, man?
Enjoy a complimentary third night on eligible bookings
How old
at
you
select
is, man?
properties through.
How old you is, Okafor?
It's been a long time since you sat down for one of these.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
What have you been up to?
Wow, everything, a lot. Most people go through their things, you know, very practically.
You took it on tour.
Live every night. It was so healing. I'm fucking Jay-Z. Respectfully.
Or
like, for what? To what end?
how would you rate your 2025? Like, looking back on the last year.
It was hard. Really hard. I was like heartbroken.
Really?
Yeah. I'm glad we got right to that. You know, so we could just get that out the way.
Okay.
Like, I was really heartbroken by, like, everything that occurred.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with all, like, you know, we in a space now where it's just, like, almost like consequence is not thought about enough. So everything is so instant. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And, like, that whole Busby.
This civil lawsuit that was dropped, dismissed.
That shit took a lot out of me. I was angry. I haven't been that angry in a long time. Uncontrollable anger. Like, if you don't put that on someone, like, that's the thing that you better be super sure. It used to be like that. Like, you have to be super sure before you put those kind of things on a person.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say a person like me. Like, even when we were doing the worst things, we were doing bad, we had those kind of rules. There was a line, no women, no kids. You know, you hear those sayings, but those are things that I took from the street. You know, morals, integrity, code. Those things I took because we lived and died by that. So it's strict for me. Like, it meant a lot to me. I took that really hard. And I knew that we was going to walk through that.
Mm-hmm.
We was going to walk through that because, you know, first of all, it's not true. And the truth is, you know, at the end of the day, it still reigns supreme.
When you're feeling these feelings, how do you then bounce back and get back to being Jay-Z?
I don't know. This is the first thing I'm doing.
Yeah.
Actually, it was just like, all right, man, we played enough defense. 2026 is all offense. When we first dropped, we
You had to pay me to be a father.
sold
Yo.
34,000 records. We went like at MTV, like, give us a performance in the last slot.
Yeah.
And they were like, What? You don't even have a video that we played. They ain't say these words, but you know what I'm saying. The energy was like, you're new.
Yeah.
Like you haven't proven yourself. But then outdoor was.
I don't want
but
to watch this whole interview. I ain't really a fan of Jay-Z, man. I think Jay-Z. Yeah, I ain't really no fan of yo like I used to be. I used to be a fan of Jay-Z, man. So I got older and I realized, you know, a lot of these predatory practices that's that been placed on us as black people. Jay-Z also uses them bitches too.
Get in the music business for the right reasons, and they're very passionate about that. It didn't feel like the greatest blessing of all. It was the greatest blessing that I didn't get a deal, right? So, right, it's so noisy and just so unorthodox. Flux capacitor.
You know what's funny about that? So I don't know if you remember this. You and I were emailing about like people throw capitalists at you in a derogatory sense.
I wanted to hear what he said about Tony Busby.
Yeah, I think in that verse specifically, the only thing I heard coming up was the American dream until we started being successful. And it was like, wait a minute, you're selling out because you're making money. That was the first thing that was put on musicians. People had this law for the struggling artists. That's a mind game. What people called back in the day for tricknology. That's
really what it is.
It's like, no, I'm not going for that. Like, no, I make art first. And then I make sure that I'm compensated for my art. I didn't take advantage. I didn't get here by taking advantage of people. I didn't take it. No one.
Yo, yes, the fuck you did, bro. You took advantage of black people, bro.
No one. That's not my reputation. That's not what I do. I didn't get here by taking advantage of people or taking advantage of, you know, the loopholes in the system or some wrinkle in like a capitalist structure. That structure.
Yo, he did though. He's sitting here lying, y'all. He really pissed me off. That's exactly what he did with